Всем доброе утро. Раз, два, три. Раз. Коллеги, всем доброе утро.
Dear colleagues, good morning. We begin our morning session. I understand that it's an early time, especially for Muscovites and for other guests. Today in the very morning, we start talking about export. My name is Rinat Mayapov. I am the representative of the Russian Export Center in Ufa city, and today we will speak about working for export, what limitations are there, what has happened, and what can help us to increase our sales and find reliable partners. Today our speakers will take part Rita Nailevna Akchurina, Deputy Head of the Center for Export Support, Rita Panas, Mirzai Abbas Maslem from Iran, and there will be 3 speakers online, 2 speakers from the Russian Export Center, Ksenia Burtseva, Lydia Margun, and Vitaly Nagalin. This year we have encountered an unprecedented, decrease, sort of shrink of the world around us. The logical chains have broken, and there appeared a lot of limitations. Our task is now to reach foreign clients, to sell, to export our goods, and so we will discuss today what do we have today, what tools do we have today to find our client abroad and start working with him. And the same situation is with imports, and all our logistical chains have broken, and we need to restore them. We depend on the spare parts imported to sell our products, to export our ready products. So here we have some big players who are working on this market: the Ministry of International Relations and the Informatics Center and the Center for Export Support of Republic Bashkortostan. And I would like to give the floor to Rita and ask her to tell us what our republic can boast of and what can make our exporters at Bashkortostan confident for working abroad. Good morning, dear colleagues, participants of our round table. I thank you for the opportunity to tell you about the experience of supporting export here in the Republic of Bashkortostan. Due to a broad palette of instruments here in the Republic, we have managed to build a reliable work on support of acting exporters and importers. Nevertheless, in this situation of sanctions, all the components of the state support system will help us. What does our Center of Export Support do for in this area? One of the elements is digitalization of electronics trade. We support our business on placement on their placements on the international markets. We do it for free. We help them to take part in exhibitions, searching for partners, and do a lot of other things. What can we do for establishing collaboration of businesses in these events? The topic of our roundtable today is national shops, and our Center for Export Support has created 2 marketplaces, B2B format. We are working with legal entities, and this marketplace allows to demonstrate the goods for 200 plus countries of the world. Now, this is the space where we place for free the goods of our Republican producers and traders in order to advertise and present these goods to potential partners. That is, we're getting real requests from our partners so that we could sell our products. We started this work in 2019 from 80 goods, and now we have over 2,000 goods represented at our window, and we have over 200 companies who place their goods on our national windows. And these windows are having two directions. One of them is classical. Actually, any good is possible to be placed there, apart from those who are which are prohibited for international trade, like gold, like protection means. But these are just few goods which are not allowed to be placed on this window. The second window is very unique. This is the window for promotion of halal food and halal goods. With halal certification, we actively work here and cooperate with our center for standardization of halal products, and we promote it under the brand Made in Bashkortostan. We have our own brand Made in Bashkortostan, and these windows are quite popular under this brand. We are also prepared to continue developing this work, and if your companies have any suggestions, any offers, we are prepared to consider them and support and help your companies to master the new markets, to develop the new markets. Please come to us. We are always prepared to support you with funds and with information, and I will be prepared to answer all your questions. Thank you, Daria. Thank you, Rita, very much. You mentioned two windows, the halal one and the standard one. For Republican producers. Are there any other plans? What are you planning to make maybe in the next year, in 2023? For instance, place another 100 companies, or well, annually we have our goals and tasks, objectives to increase the number of the companies, but not just to increase the quantity, but certainly we have the quality indices as well, quality objectives. We take part in the live streams. It's kind of an online exhibition where the companies participating in it. On Alibaba site as a gold participant, gold seller. They can present their products online. And we plan to do this in 2023 as well. It's a unique possibility when our trader can demonstrate their goods online, and we also give them possibility to translate their information into English. And we have very good requests from various countries, both friendly and non-friendly countries, because our goods are in demand over the world, the goods made in Bashkortostan. May I share my experience? There was an online stream in autumn. There were producers of cosmetics, some food, and it was made within the office of the export center in Ufa. There were interpreters, there were people who were just having their information, were training their speeches, because within several minutes they had to present their goods online, and there is such an experience, and it's good and great that you managed to do these things. And let's look for exporters who are prepared, maybe. And I would like to say here, as a teacher maybe, that we have to get well prepared to such an event, because it's very, very special. Thank you, Rita. Rita mentioned the issue of marketplaces. We understand that today the most important tool which allows us to reach our customers, our buyers, are marketplaces. They are industry-oriented marketplaces, B2B also, and there are many of them, and they are there in any country perhaps, and everyone perhaps has several marketplaces on the phone. Who has a zone site? AliExpress, raise your hands. You see at least 2 marketplaces minimum at your phones. They are part of our lives now. For instance, my wife called me this morning and said, well, I need to buy something quickly. Our export center made the first thing in 2019, the first marketplace related to these national shops on the Chinese sites, and I would like to hear how they go on, because time has passed, and now we have a great number of national shops which are organized by the Russian Export Center. Angelina, are you online with us?
У нас подключение онлайн.
We have an online speaker. Good morning, Angelina.
Да, вас отлично видно, слышно. Мы видим, что у вас еще...
We see you very well. We can see that it's very early in Moscow. Yes, you're alone in the office. I can see that. Thank you for the connection. Angelina, please tell us, what is national shops on the marketplace? Because a lot of people do not know anything about it and would like to hear about it. And what are the products are the most popular nowadays? Yes, thank you very much. I would like to thank organizers, because it's very good tradition in December to tell about the online export and marketplaces. That's why I'm very glad to participate during those events for make the total conclusion about the last year and making decisions for the future. And I would like to explain you what we are talking about, because what Rita spoke about, I have a little different story, and I'll speak more about another marketplaces. And what national shop means, we understand account shop on some foreign market that is highly required on the other markets. And the products are represented from all other different Russian producers. For example, our partners that organize the process, account one, and their products are coming not from the only one producer, but from the rest of them. And we have such shops that, for example, participate in a frame of our shop, and they connect to our network, and we, as the export center, promote them on the foreign markets, and we create a useful, comfortable, transparent algorithm of placing a product there. Speaking about the definition, why this topic is very important nowadays, and why we're going to discuss it. We have two tendencies. First of all, what was mentioned before, 2022 is unexpected. It seemed that the possibilities have been shrinked of export. We had a huge flow of export from Russia through Amazon or eBay, through other sites, which are we could not use them as they were before. But on the one hand, it's shrinking is of possibilities, and on the other hand, it's allowed us and to other producers to look for other markets, because top marketing countries were USA, and nowadays we look at Turkey, at Latin America, not very from distant, but we're looking closer, and we're trying to get there. We could have made our presence at some of these countries. As I mentioned, Turkey before. Up to 2022, marketplace of Turkey, it's not very far from Russia. They're very located very close. There were two producers, and there were possibilities. But no one really paid their attention on Turkey. And now, as we have such need to expand and diversify our channels, we decided to take that place. And the second tendency we have that we realized is looking at the market of China. And during the March, it had a boom for the Russian products. Consumers didn't care where was it from. The main thing was that it was coming from Russia, and they supported Russia. It was very cool, and to be honest, that positive tendency, positive reception that we're feeling and we will be feeling, and that's why now it's very important to take the Chinese market. But the problem of the consumer is that where to find high-quality Russian products, because truly, as was mentioned before, in 2019 we had national shops on the market. We had shop that we keep developing, but that's only one shop. Plus, we have opened the shop, the site on the GD, which is the second one. And to be honest, our partners with whom we were developing all these projects, they have already opened another shops, because the online shops always diversifies channels. So you have to always be flexible from that point of view. Some marketplace goes down, some goes up, and you have to reorient. And we understood that we need to change our model of work and create fruitful partnership with our partners that organize the export of the Russian products on the foreign markets, so they would create maximum channels with our support. And that's how new model has been born, or we can say the reload, that we are now gonna highly actively gonna develop since the reload. And we announced huge news yesterday, and now for today's audience, you are the first one whom we are telling that story. Next slide, please. Let me show you the presentation a little bit. As was mentioned before, we have a task to create new diversified model so we had that will be possible for our Russian consumers to go for their foreign markets. That's why this model, our role with a partner, is divided in two parts. Reds, we provide collective, we help two partners that are going to connect to our models, to our shops, and besides, I'm going to mention Reds administers the system of certification that is said made in Russia, and they improve the Russian brand made in Russia. Plus, we create My Expert on the platform. because Russia has a very comfortable mechanic of going to other markets, and the partner also administrates those chains of sales for the Russian producers. They also and they place the Russian goods.
Вот я сказала о том, что
And as I mentioned before, the export through Amazon, eBay became impossible as it used to be to the other countries. And those sites had and also changed their model for the partnership. When you work through your partner, via your partner, from foreign storages, foreign competence with connected with sales, and those shops are based on those models. We have a partner who works on the market and have fully competent and have structure, account, storage room with a promotion is impossible without understanding. And as you step into this project with your goods, you keep and everything keeps working with that mechanism.
да. В принципе, я уже начала говорить про преимущества.
And I was started explaining the advantages of that structure, and I would like to mention point by point and make it clear for you. And we're gonna save time and save resources and other moments that are connected with that moment. Given model that we are worked in a format when the shops were working separately, we made it, and now we translate it online to the network of our partners that are get acquainted with us.
К чему мы в итоге пришли?
So what is the outcome? After the reload of the project, we had 4 first partners. Those partners had 24 working shops on the market that was mentioned here: China, Turkey, Singapore, Vietnam, and Europe. So creating and developing that model for the Russian producers that allow for them to avoid the current limitations and keep going the export. We scaled it so our producers has the ability to sell their goods not only in a few shops but expand for the other markets. That's why
Здесь, наверное, как раз ситуация,
we have a situation that created this year. So we have to change our model so that we could work our partners. We had more partners, so they would join our program, and so we have more possibility for the exporters. Why our partners are interested to work in this frame of this model? First of all,
генерация со
it's
стороны
a leader generation from this point of view of export, which accumulates all the potential of Russia, because our services are connected with the government support and choosing the marketplace, etc. And so those leads, inquiries from the interested producers, our partners receive through that platform. Second, branding. Such market as China, they have it's very important for them. They have a lot of shops. If we're speaking about the Chinese, it's approximately 13 shops. So they're gonna be branded, and they keep branding in a united visual style, so they can be diversified from other shops. Once you see our brands and our style, or the style of the good, that would mean that it's a good shop that works in the frame of the in a chain of national shops. And our partner that administrates this shop He works with the expert center, works with government support, and have a high level of trustability. And the third moment that attracts our partners is the collective promotion. For example, somewhere, for example, at the market of China, the promotion is connected to made in Russia brand itself, and promotion of this visual concept that keeps developing in the heads of our potential foreign consumers. It's creating image content on the websites and social media promotion, and shops receive those promotion who keeps our style. Some markets we do promotion yet without this branding, but so the Russian goods would accumulate its popularity, for example, like in Turkey. And thanks to this system that was created by us, we have new 4 partners, and next year we're expecting to expand this network up to 20. And we're not gonna speak. We're not speaking now about hundreds of partners. So this network would create intensively in the future. These are 3 advantages that I mentioned before, and as you can see on this slide, I would like to invite you to our auditorium of placing our national shops using QR code on the slide. You can go to the website, and during this week we had a meeting with our partners and we spoke about this platform, and it's truly comfortable, useful, and it's fully understandable. It's easy to understand it, and it's a very good mechanism and for exporters and for the partners. And I would like to address our partners and our audience. Started working with that service, the first thing you're gonna receive is an expert valuation from our partners, from the partners that created this infrastructure. They have necessary competence that they created, and using that service, you make an inquiry that you want to place this and these goods at those national shops, and first you're gonna get is a feedback with the expert valuation, if it's gonna work or not. If it's gonna work, if it's have any perspective for the future, our partners will give you possibility to make your first step. And other, you're gonna accept this informed, information. Plus, probably Roots is gonna support me. National support is also government support also works here, and it is possible to perform with the help of organization of experts with the Center of Republic of Bashkortostan, and work is going to be very helpful and useful. I understand that it's it's shortage of time, and I'm going to be short. And at this slide, I'm going to show you how we're going to create the necessary connection with our foreign consumers for understanding what is the Russian products. Some of the products are necessary for them, for their markets. We had a discussion with the partners from Latin America. They have no idea what is Russian goods anyway. Not positive, not negative. So we're helping to create those associative connection, and we try to visualize and promote all the goods and branding through various channels and promotion. Okay, next slide. And this is one of the last slides which mentions how to receive our service and what are the necessary things to be done. You can use the QR code on this slide, and as you see, you don't have to make a lot of steps to go there. And at the beginning of my speech, I mentioned, and I'm going to explain you how to provide additionally attraction of traffic for your goods at your own national shops, how to make some additional prioritization and participation on all these shops. It's receiving a certificate that is made in Russia. After reload of the national shops, we also reloaded the principles of the Russian brand, and the part of this job is reload and transformation of the certification that it says made in Russia. The process and bonuses are shown below, but you will receive, for example, at Roskачество, a certificate of quality that describes the qualities and advantages of the product. We have a wide spectrum of export, and you will decide what category or the quality you want to prove for your product, and you receive a certificate. And using that certificate, you come to us, and we'll give you the certificate that says made in Russia. And after you transfer to the priority category, and you will be able to use this certificate in the frame of promotion of your goods. First of all, it's good for your products, and secondly, it's good for us because we do promotion and we of the interesting and high quality products. And next slide. That's it. I tried, maybe I overspoke a little bit, overtimed, but I wanted to show you and give you the view and an understanding what is national shops and what is our view of the work with the national brand made in Russia, and how to get involved to our history. Presentation will be transferred to all of our friends, and if you have any questions, our contacts and requisites are on the screen, and the Center of Support will also help you.
Thank you, Angelina, for your speech. Finally, we got it, what national shops are at least tried to. And I would like to draw the conclusion that today we have to use all the tools, all the instruments we have, including the instruments of the Russian Export Center. And Angelina also mentioned Made in Russia certification system. This year it was restarted, and it is another instrument which will allow you to position your goods on the markets. I remember that in 2018 or 2019, when we started to PR the Made in Russia system, there was one Bashkirian company which was positioned there, and they asked us to write a letter that we are the only in Russia company certified on Made in Russia system. And well, it's important to find out how to use these mechanisms and be active. Angelina mentioned one of the options, which is retail. These are new markets for us, not yet very well studied, and we have to use this instrument. And today, now I would like to talk about another instrument, and we have Anna here who will tell us about her system. Their marketplace, it's also unique, and exporters also need to look at it and start working through you. A good day, dear friends. In the beginning, I would like to thank the organizers for their invitation. It's my second time in OFI, and I hope that not the last one. And we're going to cooperate with new partners here. Our agency, Selivanov and Partners, is actually a B2B marketplace certified here in Russia. And I will continue the topic of Rita and Angelina with a focus on what to do, if you like, to be placed on the marketplace by yourself. On B2C marketplace and B2B marketplace. And I will start with the main differences between the two ones. And I will start with the main differences between B2B and B2C marketplaces, because the understanding of these differences will save your time and human resources in the very beginning of placement. The main contradiction here is the goal of placement. If you want an internet shop, with tested logistic chains and systems, minimization of communication with buyers, have beautiful, attractive cards of the goods. Then you have to go and place on B2C marketplace. If you are speaking about B2B marketplaces, it's an opportunity to create a window for generation of leads. It will translate your information to many countries, to many languages. But as soon as you get a lead, you get an interested party, you will get involved into communication. Why then you have to place your goods there? The answer is the specifics of your goods and the volume of your sales and the nuances. The thing is that the B2B marketplace, which is much lower than B2C, there are fewer buyers, but the contracts concluded there are quite big, and the volumes of goods sold is much bigger. And big deals are concluded on B2B marketplaces. And the quality of your goods and the conditions of your deal influence on the contract, and not the quality of your goods or price. It does not involve often changed consumer demand. How these marketplaces are operating? All marketplaces, all of them are working on the principles of collective marketing and collective promotion. When a site attracts a lot of foreign consumers to your goods, who want to order everything they need in one place, and there is a big number of suppliers which may satisfy the needs of all these buyers. And this complex promotion is also done by all the sites. In the first place, it's setting up of a multi-page, language sites built into this marketplace, and they provide an opportunity to optimize the contents to the opportunities of some foreign countries, use the instruments of media, advertisement, and news sites, etc., and to analyze the statistics. And there is a manager who will help you to make the correct content and correctly analyze the statistics. And as soon as your technical side, your technical part is arranged, then there is a B2B negotiating party. And this is the start of possible mistakes, because the speed, the direct contact, and the analysis are the three conditions of the success on this marketplace. Why speed is important? Why Chinese suppliers on Alibaba have much more deals than the Russian ones? Because the Russian suppliers who communicate with the customers, they work day and night, and they take into account the difference of timing, and they immediately answer the inquiries. And the Russian suppliers have less deals there because the Russian suppliers, they have their days off, etc., etc. And certainly those who should not be waited are getting the deals, first of all. And what contradicts the online principles? The previous slides in B2B sales, B2B sales have a more close contact between the parties than on B2C sites. Here we have the language barrier, the mentality in different countries, etc., etc. So the direct contact is very, very important, just necessary. Well, some examples for the last year. The first order consisted of 3 words: I want, sugar, price. That was the order from Armenia. The experienced supplier won't work with such an order because nobody wants to waste time. And the only supplier who called back on this order got the contract for 200 million rubles. The second order also did not find any supplier who would like to answer. They wanted to buy the equipment for trying sunflower seeds. And because there was a buyer from Azerbaijan who did not speak very good Russian, he found it was found out that this customer needs a drum for frying these sunflower seeds. And there was a very good deal as a result. It's always the direct contact is always much better than sending written offers. And this analysis, which has to be made, I recommend to make a vertical analysis, not a horizontal one, because normally, they say that the result depends on the work with the exporters. The exporters normally tell the supervising manager what may be bad about the contracts and what the problems may be related to this export. The managers normally say that when there is no price or the logistics is not established then it's the problem related to these contracts.
5 from China with 1 deal and 4 from other countries and had no contract. So what's the outcome of it? Sites work very badly, our goods are selling very badly, consumers are pretty strange, and out of 20 orders they have very small. And some of the consumers do wrong orders. And what we do with the detailed analysis? We analyze 8 orders from Kazakhstan, and our products are very highly demanded in Kazakhstan. And using a contract, they realize they need to change the pricing of chain, and they get the product, but they decide how to sell it. Armenia has a big conversion to contracts, but the goods are very low interested, but they do not change the price and logistics. They just working with the media advertising on the side to increase the but the low conversion in China, we analyze why the conversion is very low and have 1 order. Very often it's connected in Asian countries, not with logistics, with the good itself probably. And some marketplaces not give you to analyze. It's not only vertically but also horizontally, and even non-studied countries they allow us to save your funds. 2 minutes.
Тогда я закончу, пожалуй, как раз вот
Then I will spend these 2 minutes just to tell you about the unique specifics of the marketplace accredited with the Russian export center Sapolkis. It's a Russian marketplace, international marketplace, which has placed the work of the B2B marketplaces upside down because the majority are working for the seller and for the convenience of the seller and not for the customer. And the first minus is that the customers have to wait for a loan and for the results, for the answers of the suppliers, etc., etc. And as a result, both sides get disappointed in one another. And at Sapol, the priority is the orders base. The main specifics of this site is that the convenience of the customer is taken into account. First of all, the manager of the call center connects the customer and finds out the volumes, the periods of the purchases, the minimal amount of the purchase, etc., etc. The customer doesn't need to move much to get the offer from the suppliers. The offer is supplied within the first hour. There are several commercial offers and most often telephone calls as well. So they do not need, suppliers, the customers do not need to spend much time. They can immediately get the base of the offers of this site, and so the suppliers become more active, and they already need to compete here. And when we have turned this system, making it more convenient for the customer leaves his or her offer requests, inquiries on the site, and or ads from time to time, and it's easy to work for the customer. And I may ask you a question: do you have some priorities of the customers among the countries, Armenia, Azerbaijan, the friendly countries which are not afraid now to place their inquiries to the Russian suppliers? This is Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Belarus, and so on, Iran as well. Thank you very much. That is friendly countries. So, dear colleagues, B2B website allows us to position our goods and get the orders. Thank you, Anna. Certainly, you mentioned that it's good to keep the client, and placement of your goods on a marketplace is not actually a guarantee that you will be able to sell anything. Angelina mentioned that we were selling through Amazon, through Betsy, and other websites. And here, working on Alibaba, Applebee's, means that we need to call, to work, to contact our clients in order to sell more and more profitable. Thank you very much, Anna, for a very interesting speech. So the colleagues, the Center of Sales also supports placement on this website. Yes, we want to organize such a support to our business, and today we have an opportunity to take part in accepting the applications, and we have several places for placement on this site. It's a very effective site, and we are prepared to master this marketplace with the first ones who will apply. Okay, there is another competition, dear colleagues. You should move to be the first ones. Since 2000, maybe 18 or 17, there appeared a history with the Russian Export Center as the information and testing pavilions. And people are used to ask, what are they tasting there? I remember that there were some active tasting events when international exhibitions were organized. There were even chefs while they were cooking something on these big conferences and exhibitions. Now we develop this pavilion history, and if 2 or 3 years ago we had only 3 pavilions, then in the last year we got the 4th one, and the next year we have announced to open 2 other tasting pavilions. Ksenia, are you online with us?
Yes, hello, good morning. Ksenia, please tell us about what are selling in those pavilions and why it is necessary for our producers or OPC production to try it, to use your market. Right, colleagues, can you see my presentation?
Вас видно и слышно.
Yes, we can see you very well. And the presentation, give me a second.
Так, видно, да, презентацию?
Okay, can you see my presentation?
Прекрасно.
Great. Let me tell you about our program. It works since 2017, and let's realize it with the market of Russia, of the constant developing of the pavilions. This works since the report of 045, and part of our pavilions are helping to Russian exports to promote their own goods, their own brands on the foreign markets. Nowadays, it's approximately one of the most popular measures that REDS gives, and that proves that experts come here for the second and the third and the 4th time. And now, once a lot of markets closed for us, they come to us to change their geography of their export geography. So, what tools are available for our exporters? And I would say that it's totally free. When you come to REDS, you'll get support for placing on our pavilions, and the exporters receive everything for free. These are most popular documents and goods. First of all, it's placing goods at the pavilion and promotion it on the internet and the social media, and we have huge numbers of the online sellings. Free preparation for placing, so our guides prepare everyone and all our exporters and give them information, and they study the market of the foreign markets, and we're making some actions, give them a free trial of the products, and we have everything. Consulting on the requirements of the species, for example, and the placing on the electronic sites. And one of the important things is the search for the potential partners. But since September of this year, we made some re-engineering of our program, rearranged. We did some changes in the report, and now exporters, they always told us that there are some services that they would like to use, but it's pretty expensive. One of those inquiries were free delivery, because during the lag of the supplies, it became troubled. And now all the process is on the operator, and his task is for the samples to be delivered for free from the storage of the exporter to the storage room of the pavilion. We have programming and it's highly popular. Now we subsidize exits of the on the retail and on the electronic side. Of course, not everyone get used, because even in Russia, if you want your good to be placed, you have to face the requirements. But we're changing, because we have operators who help to for our exporters to receive the necessary documents and certifications. So the first pavilion was opened in 2017 in China. Now, as today, Reds have a couple of working pavilions in following countries: China, Vietnam, Egypt, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and the Emirates. And Turkey and Saudi Arabia, they are currently working, and it will be started in the Turkey, in Saudi Arabia. We are expecting for the contract to be signed, but we received demands from our exporters to place the goods in Saudi Arabia. It's probably somewhere like 40 residents, and we're not stopping on that. And how's the pavilion rates are developed? For now, now we have almost more than 100 exporters, unique exporters, and more than 1,000 units of Russian goods. And it becomes bigger because the demand is increasing constantly every day, and we are very happy about it. And it's it gives the trustworthy qualities to our products, because they're ecology and they're high quality. So how to get there? The process of application is very simple. You can applicate through the website of Reds. You give the application on the site Reds, write the application, put all the necessary documents, and the expert goes to the expert expertise committee, and our expert of the Russian Expert Center are the, I would say that, and they work with the government, and they can answer all the necessary question. And after the expertise gives its approval, and since that day, exporter can receive all the necessary services that our operators provide them with. They have requirements for our partners, some additional requirements during the studying the contract. It's not very hard. Once application received, all the applications go to our experts. They study them. If there is something that needs to be changed, they always help and communicate with our partners. And as a rule, they always reach the stage of the expertise check. And as by the end of 2022, exporters can put their applications online, where all the necessary checks are done online with some acts, and everything gonna be in a electronic form. We try to avoid the paper, using the usage of paper, and the electronic reports give the bonuses such as that exporters can check and verify every necessary information on our platform online, and get acquainted with the results with the work on their project. That is very comfortable, because all the work of the operators and experts will be concentrated on our platform. You can see a small amount of our exporters, and contact information about all the pavilions are on the website. Very soon, we're gonna have additional pavilions on this slide and our contacts. We'll be very happy to help you and answer to any of your questions. That's it. Ksenia, thank you very much. I can see that your show get great reception in our audience, and of course, probably many of them hear about this project for the first time. And what are the additional requirements to you and to us as the exporters? And what's on a website which is positive and gives a plus that they give you some additional points. Right, colleagues, participation on these pavilions is a huge step forward for our partners. And they will help you morally and physically to place the goods on the countries and which are going to be translated. But this step will allow you to be on the markets of the foreign country. So that which means that your good is going to be in the shop in foreign countries, and then it will allow you to expand. Probably the amount of inquiries will increase. Thank you, Ksenia. Of course, during the current situation, the most prospective directions are we have a huge demand on the export of the goods. Now we have Vitaly Nagalin online, head of the Sectoral Development Department and Grow Expert of Federal Center. Thank you.
Vitaly, we cannot hear you. Talk to the microphone, please.
Пока не слышно.
Not yet.
Виталий нам расскажет про то, какие есть перспективы.
Vitaly will tell us about the promising directions of the export operation of the Republic of Bashkortostan. We hope to hear you. So far, unfortunately, we cannot hear you. Oh, okay, now we have some sound. Dear colleagues, Rinat, hello. I'm very happy to hear and see you, and thank you for the opportunity to talk. Already this year, we have the third meeting or the second one. It's not very important, but it's always very important to share the opinion on the current situation, which is there in the export of agricultural products. It's one of the promising directions for the future direction, and our topics is devoted to the developing of the national pavilions. I would like to talk on the development of the agricultural product exports to the world market, so that our producers could understand our power. Today, Russia is playing the key role on the world market. We are part of the top 20 in the top 20 of suppliers of agricultural products. We have went up from the 47th place in the last years, and we have achieved $7 billion. And this year we hope to overcome the limit of $40 billion of USA, and we are taking the second place in export of sunflower oil, and we are very confidently solving the task on provision of food security of this country, and I'm convinced that Russia is going to increase the export of these products to the world market. We have all the opportunities for this, and we will implement our opportunities. I would like to mention that export of agricultural products is the most dynamic segment of the Russian export growth. The annual average increase is around 15%. This result was achieved due to the correct state policy, and the paradigm selected by the Russian government showed its effectiveness. I'm sure that there are some agricultural people here in this room, and the export, they will confirm that the export has become a stimulus for the stable development of this sector. Our priorities are the most priority-friendly markets for us, like China, the countries of Eastern and Southeastern Asia. We are speaking about the increase of export to the countries of Middle East and Persian Gulf countries, and certainly the Indian market as well. And the current year has shown the potential for the supplies to this market, and we implement this, and we hope that we are going to grow it as well. As to the current situation in the Republic of Bashkortostan, certainly for us, the implementation of our potential depends on how actively we are going to implement the exports in places, export potential in places, and we have to grow the export in the regions with the average sort of level of exports, including the Bashkortostan Republic, and so that they could reach the leading group and would reach the level of 500 or 600 million US dollar. If you look at this slide, then in the last 5 years, the export of agricultural products has grown by 9 times. It's an important result, and in spite of all the challenges we faced this year, the dynamics of this year shows that the export of Bashkortostan Republic is rather stable, and by the data on the 4th of December, we are on the level of the last year, which is really a good result. But for the stable result of the next year, we have to increase our supplies, increase the range of the products supplied. We try to show you what are the priority directions of ours for the export from the Republic of Bashkortostan and from the neighboring regions. And based on this analysis, you can see the priority export products from the Republic of Bashkortostan. What we can consider here, for instance, such products as honey, for instance. We can speak about export to Belarus, Azerbaijan, and the Arab Emirates, where it's in high demand. As to the CIS countries, we also discuss what volumes were supplied to the non-friendly markets. It's not a big volume, around 10%, but the implementation of our goals will allow us to substitute these volumes. And, well, the topic of development of national shops and pavilions, sales through the electronic channels. Here we have the priorities of food and processing industry exports. As to the processing industry, we have good results in the last 5 years. The export has grown 3 times. The most successful year for our republic was 2020, when we reached the level of $30 million US, which is 1/3 of the whole export of the Republic, which is a rather important index, which shows the also the supply basket of the Republic. We processed grain, flour, sausage products, and here we well, we do not call this the raw materials, but nevertheless, these are the products with rather high added value, and we have tried to identify some priority products through the sold through the electronic pavilions, the products which fit the manner of demonstration through the electronic channels like honey, alcohol, drinks, sausages, some confectionery, some vegetable oil, processed grain, etc., etc. And practically everywhere we have a positive trend. Here in the Republic, we have created rather strong brands which are known not only on the regional and federal levels, but also known abroad. And certainly for the further development, it's important to implement the system of export support set up, developed here, which is very promising, includes very promising electronic sales channels. Well, I'm not going now to speak very much about the federal measures of support, because it's a very broad spectrum of measures, but I would like to briefly tell our colleagues about our center. We are the Center for Export of Agricultural Products, and we work under the document for the development of agricultural product export support. We have built the system of cooperation with the regional bodies and with the development institutes and with the representatives of regional business. We implement the agenda on the promotion of supportive measures for agricultural products export. And besides, we also prepared to develop the offers on the promotion, but in the current conditions, the promotion of our products is certainly our key task, key objective, and implementation of the business agenda for the development of the dialogue with our potential consumers of goods. And this year, in spite of certain difficulties, we have grown the number of business events. We have held already over 50 business events. Next year, we also are planning to increase this number. We are planning some 8 or 10 events more, which also helps us to build the dialogue with our potential partners. We are moderators of the corresponding meetings, and I call on our Bashkirian producers to start working with us as well, participate in this work, and in the conditions of this difficult conditions of forming the agricultural world market. It's important that our agrarian suppliers could form the competencies for working based on the world practices, world best practices, world experience, under the auspices of sectoral surveys and concepts of promotion for some priority markets, where we develop the marketing and communication strategy, etc., etc. So it's a broad number of measures, and all this information is represented on our website. As to the Republic of Bashkortostan, on this slide, we try to show you the key product group which is formed here in the Republic, the key analytical products. And coming back to the topic of our meeting today, I cannot just boast with a big analytical document which was produced in the past year, and we have adopted it in this year, about the electron channels of sales. That document considered the electronic channels of sales for China, India. Here we have some characteristics of these electronic sales and sites and possible partners, and suddenly some recommendations were given on the implementation of these sales. Here on our site we have those organizations who implement these electronic marketplaces, and you in the break you can talk to them directly. Our link here to our website is here, so I'm not going to take more time of yours. Thank you again for the opportunity to talk to you, and all our information is on our website. Please come and address us. Thank you for your information, dear colleagues. I think that you have seen some of our Bashkortostan brands active on external markets. You also got the information on promising brands, and traditional foodstuff is also a strong sector for export, and learning about the existing instruments. Next year, you will perhaps have your brands on this slide as well, on such a slide, and it will allow you to enter the foreign markets. And as to the promising countries, Vitaly mentioned the countries of the Southeastern Asia and Middle East, and certainly a separate topic is Iran. Now, we speaking about Iran for many years, but this year especially, there were many business missions to Iran and exhibitions held there. We hear a lot about Iran, know that this is a big country with a huge potential of consumption. But on the other hand, we do not know much about this country. We don't understand how to make payments. We do not understand really what are the requirements to our products, what the religious rules we have to follow for selling our products, etc., etc. So I would like to give the floor to our guest, Mirza Abbas Muslim. Can you tell us what should we do to sell on the Iranian markets? Thank you.
Good day, dear colleagues. First of all, I would like to say thanks for the organizers and head of commerce and of Republic of Bashkortostan, and to Angelina Vladimirovna for invitation. It's a very high honor for me to be with you. Iran is under more than 43 years, and we created our own roadmaps, and we do our own work. and about forbidden goods, products that are made in Iran and analog, the same products cannot be exported to Iran. But there are some ways so we could deliver the goods. For example, through CIS, for the free economical zones, you can export goods from Russia to the port in Zili, and customers receive special quotes, so those goods could be sold inside the market. There is also another moment on the same products that are produced in Iran. We have to look carefully on the material that we are needed to create the good. If that raw material is not developed in Iran, you can export it and deliver it to us. Right export is like in it's not required any necessary permissions, but need to learn carefully, as I mentioned before, if it has been produced in Iran or no, to receive necessary certificates, and those goods can be transported to Iran. Transport ways are now, all the ways are working, the land, and we can try the air, and now we have a problem with going on sea with we need to solve these questions, and especially using ferries. It takes 45 work days, and some goods are, we have some goods, some medical goods, or some medical components that are starting with 6 months up to 18 months. We are the Ministry of Healthcare of Russia. They agreed to increase the speed of this process, and I think there are to receive special permission from the Ministry of Healthcare of Russia. Probably we could reduce it up to 3 months, receiving the certifications, I mean. The exchange of products between Russia and Iran is not very huge. Last year it was almost $4 billion, and if we compare it nowadays with the last year, we achieved almost $8 billion, and we're expecting to increase it up to 10 billions before the new year. Maybe not, who knows. The efficient ways of looking for partners, it is possible to make it on your own, but we do not recommend this method because you could not find anything about Iran in the internet, because the information it's lacking information, because we have received the digital attacks on the Iranian websites, and most of the websites are closed for foreign countries, and you cannot find information on your own. So we suggest, through the representation of Russian export in Iran that we have, of course, and through the commerce of an industry, and through the through Rustam Zhiganshin, in the commerce, yeah. And Rustam and his team, we would like to thank them because they are very serious and very active people. Through Iran Chamber of Commerce. Usually they know Russian language. That's why it's every province, every region to have its own Chamber of Commerce. And the accreditation of the Rus expert partners. We have counselors and partners. How to receive that information, guiding the goods and making the payments between banks and Russia via banks. It's hard. We have only one bank in Russia of Iran, and it's called Mir Business Bank. And Russian Financial Corporation also works sometimes, but now the communication is not very good and it's not working officially. Russian Federal Committee is also worked through the Moscow Loan Bank that starts working, and after New Year, Mir system is also keeps appearing in Iran. I think that will be one of the best news. Even like 2 months ago, Russian ruble appeared on the Tehran stock exchange, and the safety is always it's always necessary to be done before signing the documents. You cannot know about that and how the consumers will know if they're trustworthy. I recommend you to address the Chamber of Commerce so they could do it, and the Turk press of the Russian Federation can tell you about the trustworthy of our company. Logistic chains are what I mentioned before. It's the only disadvantage is ferry. We can almost say that half year we've been talking about it. And juridical support is necessary for Iran and for our exporters. It's necessary during the assignment of the contract. We need officials to be presenting during this process, even maybe in the office of Rush Export, or just in case if there's something goes wrong, so everyone would be on date and had knowledge on the current situation. Discussion and business etiquette. You have to understand in Iranian mentality, because we don't know each other's mentality and the culture of our countries. Unfortunately, we have short of time. I'll give you 1 more minute because we have 1 more speaker. Yes, of course. I'll just give you a couple of examples and a couple of cases. For example, on the export. Russian producer Жидкие удобрения addressed us as a partner of the Russian export center. They wanted us to find the buyers for them, customers. The problem was that they could not deliver because they had a very negative experience working with other people, and they had no results on it. We found the customer, signed a contract at the central office in Moscow for a couple of dollars, and exporter can smoothly deliver their goods. After signing the contract, Rossельхознадзор forbid the goods that we had a contract on, and it costed like $6 or $7 million. And Rossельхоz forbid the goods from Iran. We could, with the officials of the customer, and the result of it was, I can say that we tried to help Russian Export Center and receive that amount back, to receive the money back. And the export to Iran has to be the main priority of your work, of the Russian Export Center. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Abbas, very much. As I understand, window to Iran is now in the Chamber of Commerce of Bashkortostan. So address Angelina or Timur, they are here, and Abbas will help you to understand how to work with Iran. Dear colleagues, unfortunately we are out of time, and we have one last speaker, Alexander, but we have an additional section at 4 p.m. So, colleagues, if you want to hear the speech of Alexander Gavrilov about the platform of Gazprom Bank, I would like to welcome you for the roundtable that will take place at 4 p.m. And we'll give you possibility to make your speech first. Thank you very much. Yes, wait for a second, please. What would you like to say? Yes, thank you very much. I'll tell you briefly about what what my speech is going to be about. We have a new platform that will allow to Russian producers to sell and export abroad, and as well as buy goods from foreign countries. And I will tell about the logistics, and I will address our foreign colleagues that they can use our platform if you want to sell or reach Russian suppliers to buy and sell. So those who are interested to work in both ways, please welcome at 4 p.m. All right, thank you very much. You had a question. Yes, please, Mr. Abbas, thank you.
Dear Mr. Abbas Muslim, about for your telling us, my question relates to the economic zones. If our partner sends the product to the free economic zone, who is going to be the receiver of this product? Do we represent our products in the free economic zone on the territory of Iran and sell our product under our trademark on the territory of Iran? How it's going to be built? There are residential companies. If you don't have a residential company, you can get registered there. You can. It is done within 30 days. And if you have your own legal entity there, you can send the goods from your legal entity in Russia to your legal entity in Iran. If you don't have it, you need to find a partner and send your goods to your partners. Then your partner can get a quote for selling your goods on the Iranian market. And who is going to help to register legal entity on the territory of Iran? Do we address the Iranian Chamber of Commerce or our Chamber of Commerce here in Bashkortostan? Your Chamber of Commerce is doing this. Thank you, dear colleagues. As a moderator, Angelina, you had a question.
возможно, кроме одной.
Can we get the presentations which were given here during our meeting? Yes, you can. Our national shops help you to go to the new markets without losing the old ones. So you can continue discussions with the Chamber of Commerce of Bashkortostan Republic, with the Center of Export Support of Bashkortostan Republic. Please network. All these instruments are available and free, and the only thing you need just a wish to make some first steps so that you could develop your foreign relations. Thank you for being with us. Till our next meeting.